Good evening. BBC Midlands Today can reveal at least 3/4 of the MPs in our region have been abused or threatened whilst doing their job. 5 have been physically attacked. The investigation by this programme comes 6 months after the Yorkshire MP Jo Cox was murdered by one of her own constituents. Tom Turrell has this exclusive report.
6 months ago, Labour MP Jo Cox was shot and stabbed in her constituency. The killing sent shockwaves around the country. But the abuse of members of Parliament is more common than you may realise. Birmingham Edgbaston MP Gisela Stewart and Mid Worcestershire MP Nigel Huddleston share a concern for their own safety.
I mean, the other day I came off a train station and someone came up to me and said, "Are you Gisela Stewart?" And I said yes. And then he just hurled this absolute string of expletives at me, insisted on walking with me on the platform, and I said, you know, you're leaving me alone. I just stopped.
I'm a little bit concerned because it's usually a lady who's with me, somebody from my team, and the Jo Cox situation did frighten, I think, quite a lot of us. And I am concerned about the safety, you know, of the team as well as myself.
I asked all 63 MPs in the West Midlands about their personal safety. 55 got back to me.
90% of our MPs told me they've been abused or threatened on social media. 75% said they've been abused or threatened in person, whilst 5 of our members of Parliament across the West Midlands have been physically attacked doing their job.
It was in the year 2000 that Cheltenham's Nigel Jones MP narrowly avoided death. His assistant was less lucky. The BBC's Graham Gardner was one of the first reporters to the scene.
Had a call to say that there'd been a stabbing in Cheltenham, and then it became apparent, or we were told, that the MP had been attacked. And then the other details came out. He'd been attacked by a samurai sword. Now, as we know, although Nigel Jones was the target, he'd actually managed to escape, albeit with very serious injuries to his hands and arms. But sadly, his assistant Andrew Pennington bore the full force of the attack, and as we know, he was killed.
One West Midlands expert told me members of Parliament are right to be worried.
I think MPs and all public figures really need to take stock of what they're doing and understand that this is a dangerous world and getting more dangerous by the minute. They need really to start to put together some sort of plans of action that they can take.
The problem MPs face is that their job is to listen to us. That closeness, though, at times puts their own safety into question.
And Tom Turrell joins us now from Westminster. So, Tom, what measures have our MPs taken to protect themselves?
Well, Mary, the issue is this. We've had an MP who's had a knife drawn on him. We've had other MPs who've received death threats. That's led members of Parliament right across the West Midlands to beef up security in their own homes. One MP, Jess Phillips, has gone even further than that. She's put a panic room in her constituency office to protect her and members of staff. And I know plenty of MPs have been asking the police what they should do if a member of the public turns on them during a meeting.
And does Parliament need to do more?
Well, the House of Commons behind me says they look after MPs when they're here. It's police locally in the West Midlands that must protect our members of Parliament when they're back home. That said, you can get, if you're a member of Parliament, self-defence training from the guys here in London. But really the issue is this: if we want our MPs to be accessible, to be open, to answer our questions and live amongst us, that requires a degree of openness. And I'm afraid it's that openness that in the end puts our MPs at risk.
OK, Tom Turrell at Westminster, thank you. West Midlands Police has launched what it says is an unprecedented